Hi everyone, it's Mike coming in from Cabell. Guys, today I want to talk about my own personal theory, and that's all it is. It's a personal theory of the top five. So my theory of the top five is really something quite simple. So I'm going to explain it quickly first and put it into some kind of context with a story. So for me, I want to talk about a story when my family, we have a set of favorite restaurants that we like to frequent quite often. And one of the things I often talk about is a particular fish and chip shop that we used to go to. And this shop, when we went there, I've got to be honest, it wasn't my favourite. I liked it. I'm not saying it was bad, but it wasn't my favourite. If I said there was somewhere I really wanted to go, somewhere that was in my top five of restaurants to go and visit, it wouldn't be in my own personal one. But obviously, when you go out, it's not just yourself. Unless you're one of those people that likes to go out and eat on their own, that's absolutely fine, no judgment. But at the end of the day, we go out as a family. And for me, this particular restaurant, we used to go there, and you'd get there, and every time it was something really for my mum was a real big driver to go to this particular restaurant. She really liked it. So when we went out for fish and chips, we always went to this particular restaurant. And even my mum would comment as to how anemic the chips were. They looked like they hadn't been fried at all. They were still the same color as potato normally is. There was no goldenness to these potatoes whatsoever. But at the end of the day, no, she didn't always enjoy the food. It was in our top five of restaurants to go to. My mum was the driving factor as to why we went there, but it wasn't actually always enjoyable food for her, yet we continue to keep going back there. And the question to that is obviously, why? Why did we keep going back to a restaurant where we thought the food wasn't great, etc., etc.? Why was that such a big deal for my mum? And the answer to that is really, it's quite simple. It was the people that were working there. So, we went there when my youngest was born, Lily, and they've known Lily and Gracie, my other daughter as well, from being really young all the way up. We've been able to build up a relationship and rapport with these people. They knew us as soon as we went in there. They knew what we were like. They actually took time to come to the table and talk to my mum and my dad and me and the kids, in actual fact, about what was going on. They actually remembered what we were talking about. It wasn't just a kind of a put on, it was just an act, to make you feel welcome in the restaurant and make sure everything's okay. These people actually remembered. So there could be like a huge gap, a month gap, 2 month gap between the times that we visited there, but they still remember us. They still remember what's going on. They still remember the kids. They still remember what they're doing at school. All those kind of things you discussed last time were still there. They were actually interested in us, and we built up a friendship with those people. And realistically, yes, the food was not the best. Were there better fish and chip shops? Yes, there were. And looking back on it, we could have done that a long time ago, but we didn't. I mean, even there's a fish and chip shop across the road from my parents' house. Did we go there? No. We drove to this particular restaurant. And the reason was because that rapport with the people. And one of the biggest things that happened with that restaurant chain is it got taken over. It got taken over by another fish and chip restaurant that came in, took it over, and those people were actually not going to be there anymore. They weren't going to be working there. They weren't getting taken over as well with the business. That situation. And I think in actual fact, thinking back, I think a couple of them still possibly are there. But I certainly, before such time as that changed hands, that was it. As soon as my mum realised that those people may not be there, or not all of them would be there in the future, that was it. It was that fickle. We didn't go back. In fact, there's we go to the fish and chip across the road from my parents' house. There's another restaurant that we drive to and go to for fish and chips that would probably feature in our top five nowadays. And that just to bring that into reality, we're talking about a place that sells food, and food wasn't the predominant reason why we went there. And that just goes to show how important the people in your business can be. That even if your food is substandard, you can still keep some of your people coming in. That's not everybody, of course it's not. But at the end of the day, it just goes to show what difference they can make to your business. And it was just such an eye-opener to me that literally those friendships, those relationships we built up. My daughter is now 11. I think we stopped going there about a year and a half ago. So if you put that into reality, that's 9.5 years or more that we've been going there. Since my oldest was born. When my youngest was born, we went in there not long after she was born. And they followed us through the whole journey. And like that, fickle, we were gone. We weren't blown back because those people weren't going to be there. It wasn't against the people, it was against the business. It was just different. It was changed. That was out. It was gone. Something had come in and replaced it. They'd lost our customer. They'd lost our business. We'd moved on. Okay, we're one group, we're one family, but I'm sure it wasn't just the one family that happened to. And you're kind of all of a sudden starting again from ground zero at that point in time. But it makes me think about the power of the top 5, my own personal theory. So when I look at our own family, I can pinpoint on one hand how many restaurants we would like to frequent. These are safe places. These are places where when you've got not a lot of disposable income in a family, or when you're thinking about going out for a special celebration, or you know, you're looking just to go out and have a nice meal and get yourselves out, your hair down. These are your safe bets. These are the places you would always go. So you'd have somewhere in there the kind of cuisines that you would like. So a Chinese restaurant, for example, an Indian restaurant, your fish and chip, your local greasy spoon, and maybe something else, you know, in between on that. And I can pinpoint on my hand 5 places that we would actually go to. Anything outside of the top 5 doesn't mean we wouldn't go to them. It just means we don't know what the experience is going to be like. So in order to get us out of that top 5 and spend our money somewhere that we've not been before or isn't consistent, we've been there maybe before in the past, but isn't our top 5, we're not sure what we're going to get. In order to get us as a family, and like I said, we eat out as a family in that kind of way, or it's with friends. And to get us to do that and go outside that top 5, it's got to be something quite particular or something quite special that's going to do that. So as a restaurateur, as a restaurant, to try and get into as many people's top 5s as you possibly can, that's got to be really, really important. You're always looking to get into more people's top 5s. And by doing that, there's a couple of ways. One is obviously looking at how you're actually spreading that word through other people. So, for example, if we went to that fish and chip shop, my mum would have said to everybody, do you know what? The people there are amazing. You've got to go there. The people are lovely. Now, she may not mention the food, but she would mention the people. And there's other places that we would go to that all of us would say the food is excellent. It's amazing. In fact, I went to one recently and it was outside of my top 5. It was an amazing meal that I've had. The reason I went there, it was recommended to me by a friend. And that's precisely one of the ways that happens. You go places, someone else's top 5 for a celebration, you go there with them because it's their birthday, wedding anniversary, whatever. You get to go to a restaurant you wouldn't have actually gone to before because your friend has gone there and has asked you to go there. This place was recommended to me by a friend, and I went, you know what the hell, let's go there, let's visit it. And yeah, it's amazing. I love the place. The food was absolutely out of the world and the staff were really attentive, and I felt great, and it was an amazing experience. And I would go back there again, and I would equally recommend it. And that's how people kind of generate that domino effect to get into more people's top 5s. And quite clearly, for me, I think that in actual fact, there's a real key here, a distinction. Now, I know there's a huge argument around this, okay, but here I go. And it's almost like a different video all of its own right, by the way. But here I go. I actually think that there are 2, whatever your business, take it out of hospitality even for a second, there are 2 really fundamental areas to the success of any business, regardless of whether you're a window cleaner, a restaurant, or a bank. And those things are revenues and your people. And without your people, you don't get revenues. It's as simple as that. Unless you've got a fully autonomous business that doesn't require any humane input whatsoever, then you need people. And without those people, you have no business. And without those people, you have no revenues. Take the window cleaner. If he doesn't get up in the morning, go out and clean people's windows, he makes no revenues that day. And that's the way that works. And for me, it's exactly the same in a restaurant. And that means that the focus in a restaurant, primarily for me, has to be on the staff. Staff 1, customers too, because without your staff, you have no customers, you have no restaurant. And we've already seen from the story I gave you, that analogy, how important staff can be. Even in a restaurant that isn't making the best, most fantastic food, in the fact that I wouldn't even recommend that food, is still pulling people in because of the characters within that business. They make that tick, not the food. And this is the crazy thing, that people think in a restaurant, I've got to focus on my customers. I can get another member of staff, a barista or a waiter or whatever, I can get them left, right and centre, no problem, it's easy, no fuss whatsoever. Yeah, you can get any Tom, Dick and Harry, I can get anybody to look after my kids, but I wouldn't. At the end of the day, this is your child, it's your business. You've got to look after it, and the people are fundamental. And without those people, and without getting those right people, without getting those core people right in your business, you're not going to get in the top 5 of other people's most favored restaurants. And if you're not in that top 5 of most people's favored restaurants, you're not going to get a lot of people coming to the restaurant. And if you're not getting a lot of people coming to the restaurant, you're not getting any revenues. And if you're not getting any revenues, you haven't got a business at the end of the day. And that's how fundamental that link works its way through. And I honestly believe that if you can try and focus into how can I get recommended, how can I get into more people's top 5s, rather than just trying to do a mail shot campaign through the post and regular marketing. I'm not a marketing expert, by the way. I want to put that out there. I'm a people person. But at the end of the day, you're just focusing on the normal streams of marketing. You're not necessarily getting into that top 5. And to get in my top 5, you've got to actually get me out of where I am right now, my funk, where I am, to go to your venue to go and experience it. And it takes quite a lot to get me to do that. And it'll be the same with everybody else. And you've got to think how you can do that, and how your staff and your business can help you to do that, to give that experience. Eating out, eating in even, is an experience. You're not just selling the food. You're not just selling the product and the quality. You're selling an experience to people. That's why when you go to a restaurant, it's about theatre as much as it is about food. And that process is put on by the people. And you've got to focus on those things to give yourself any chance of getting in those top 5s. So guys, let me know your thoughts. What type of businesses are in your top 5? How are you focusing to get into other people's top 5? Do you think I've got this whole top 5 thing completely wrong? Do you think I'm just completely off the planet crazy? And actually, there's a reason why it doesn't work. Let me know. Drop the messages and let me know what you think, and maybe you've got a different theory yourself as well, and drop it in below and let me know. But guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Please take care, and remember, as always, outstart the competition, guys. Take care.